Good morning and God bless and happy Friday. I'm Dominique DiPrima. The show is called First Things First, and my first thing every day, giving thanks, giving praise, asking for blessings from God, asking for the blessings of the ancestors and the elders, and getting it going around here. This is what we do. Hour one, we look local. Hour two is Freedmen Fridays, where we focus on reparations as a comprehensive conversation. We do that every Friday, and you're welcome in. Hour three, we often do a deep dive and unpack what we learned about reparations, but today we'll be talking to Lil Easy E, as this week is the angelversary of Lil Easy E's dad, who was my friend, and this will be the first time I ever have the opportunity to talk with him on the radio, so that'll be good. Partner in politics, well, KBLA correspondent, activist, and labor specialist, Sherri Bell. Good morning.
Good morning, Dominique. Good morning, everybody out there listening this morning. Happy Friday to you.
Yes, indeed. Happy Friday. It is Easter weekend, so folks are, getting ready for church, I guess. If you celebrate Easter, I think a lot of us do. But it's going to be raining. It's meant to be another mini storm. I feel like I don't know now because it feels very unpredictable and very climate crisis-y. The mayor said yesterday that they were worried because so much moisture is already in the ground that those hills can continue to come tumbling down. So if you have the opportunity to wrap your hill or, take other precautions, probably I would do that.
Get them sandbags.
Well, I don't. Yeah, luckily, not luckily, but I don't live in the hills. I live in the flats, so we just get regular old flooding, not hills, sliding down on us.
Many puddles, many lakes and streams and potholes. We gotta worry about.
Yeah. So it's it's gonna be. Hopefully, it'll be a mellow weekend. I know a lot of stuff is, canceled or postponed, Easter celebrations and things because, we don't do rain.
Boy, oh boy, if I was a kid, I would be so mad because the Easter egg hunt's going to be compromised, So, fortunately, it looked like it's going to be pretty constant. And, folks, it's like we were complaining about it being so dry and no rain. Like, when are we going to get rain? Like, climate is a crisis, and now it's like over raining. So I don't know what that means.
Yeah, well, it means, I don't know what it means either, but it sure seems like part of our climate emergency. Okay, Sherri, I hate to. No, you know what? I'm not going to do it. We'll wait. We'll go there after a bit. But I was talking yesterday about how these fast food companies are saying that because fast food workers' wages go up to $20 an hour starting April 1st, they're going to be raising prices. And I feel like that is a talking point. I feel like, they make the announcement so that in the future we'll be opposed to wage hikes. I remember last time we gave workers a raise. We had to pay more for our hamburgers. And this is the second day in a row. Now, the LA Times again with this, fast food article, but based on South LA and the fact that we don't have that many restaurants. It's a lot of food deserts where all you can find is fast food. And they're saying that we, Black and Latino people and low-income people that live in South LA, are going to be hurt by rising wages because fast food prices are going up.
Right. I think that is, like you said, it's a deterrent to try to get try to stop people from supporting people from having livable wages. And fast food jobs are not the same jobs as they used to be back in the day, where your local teenager would work there, in the summer or after school. You have people feeding their whole families working these jobs. And it's a symptom of a larger problem in our economy, in that a lot of our, manufacturing jobs or other well-paying jobs have been outsourced overseas because companies can get that labor cheaper. So those good-paying jobs have been taken away. And now a lot of the times what we're stuck with is these fast food jobs or like gig work like Uber, Lyft, or maybe some temporary manufacturing work that's non-union. So the economy, the jobs that are available are a symptom of this corporate greed that we are seeing right now with the fast food industry, instead of looking at the disparate like wage gap between their CEO and their average worker. Instead of like closing that, they want to pass the cost on to the consumer, which is unfair and greedy.
I mean, yeah, they could be making the announcement, rather than cutting prices, we've decided to cut corporate CEO pay by 10%, which adds up to tens of millions of dollars. They could have, announced many other things. To me, this is sheer propaganda. And I'm surprised the LA Times 2 days in a row is just, carrying water for these big corporate agendas so blatantly, like, oh, too bad wages are going up. Now no one in South LA can afford food. Right. Instead of like, why aren't there grocery stores? Why don't we have access to more healthful options? And also, what are some other areas you could cut? Plus, they don't highlight how we also disproportionately work in those jobs. Right. So we may be getting up to a 25% raise when you consider the minimum wage is $16 an hour. Now, fast food workers will be getting 20. That's a pretty decent raise. So if they can go somewhere else and buy food and cook it, those higher fast food prices will be less important than the fact that many folks that live in South LA will see a significant raise. Right.
And it might backfire on them because of that. And when think about the minimum wage in July, it's going to go up to 17 something an hour in the city of LA. I don't know about the surrounding areas, but so that means that the fast food industry is only going to be about $3 more. But the issue is, and I think this is why they probably champion this raise in salary, is that fast food restaurants are prolificating all over. Like they're constantly opening up new chains. So they're doing well in the economy. And if you have money to expand and grow, then maybe you should do it responsibly,
Yeah, but I like to point it out because I know we are going to have something, a referendum, I don't know what it is, where we have to vote about raising the wage. Right. And they're already trying to plant seeds. Right. That rising wages are the reason for inflation. And that's bull. Most of it is price gouging by oil companies, which impacts everything because you have to transport ingredients and other things, to run any corporation or small business. And so when gas prices go up, everything goes up. Instead of saying, what these price gouging oil companies are, these exorbitantly paid CEOs, we need to do something about that. They point to the worker.
Right. Yeah, maybe they wouldn't have been such a target if that wage gap and gross disparity in income between their corporate execs and their workers wasn't so large. Maybe if they were like demonstrating, okay, we're paying what we can, but obviously they're not paying what they can because, when you get up higher in the food chain, the price gap is so large. It's like what you're seeing is like production is at an all-time high. Profits is at an all-time high. Earnings for these big wigs at the top are at an all-time high, but the wages for the workers are staying pretty stagnant, and that's what the problem.
Right, and to me, it takes a lot of nerve to complain, right, about raising workers' wages and say, "Oh, we got to raise prices," when, as you said, your profits are up. It's just like oil companies. Woe is me. We, the supply chain, the fires at the refineries. We have to raise prices. But wait, your profits are at record high. So you don't have to do jack. All you're doing is profiteering off of, taking advantage of perception. Oh, it's inflation. Let's blame Joe Biden. Let's blame the war in Ukraine. Yeah. Let's blame everything but the reality, which is we're sucking more and more money out of workers.
The math ain't mathing, Dominique.
It's not adding up. 800-920-1580. You're invited into the conversation. And Sherri Bell, Dominique DiPrima, KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
We must understand the politics of our community, and we must know what politics is supposed to produce.
This election year, KBLA Talk 1580 is the place for politics. Unapologetically progressive politics. And we've got two of the best and brightest to help you cut through all the noise. Weekdays at 1 p.m., it's a More Perfect Union with Dr. Nicolai Corte. And at 4 p.m., it's Ariva Martin in real time. He's the university professor and distinguished member of the White House Correspondents Association. She's a best-selling author and Harvard-trained civil rights lawyer. And they are both here every day to help guide you through all the this year, because you know it's going to get deep. Get your politics on weekday afternoons at 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. with a More Perfect Union, hosted by Dr. Nicolai Corte and Ariva Martin in real time, only on KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
Oh, this cold.
Honey?
Honey?
Honey, you need DayQuil Severe Honey.
DayQuil Severe Honey gives you powerful cold and flu symptom relief with a honeylicious taste, because life doesn't stop for a cold.
Okay, I'm ready to go.
Now I'm getting a cold.
Honey.
Try DayQuil Severe Honey for powerful cold and flu relief. DayQuil Severe with honey flavor. The daytime coughing, aching, stuffy head, fever, honeylicious, power through your day medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Are you wet shaving? You'll get razor bumps.
Nah, Pops. I'm good with Gillette Skin Guard. How long you been growing that beard Mama hates anyway?
Since 77. I shaved and got ingrown so bad.
That's why I use the Gillette Skin Guard razor, face scrub, shave gel, and moisturizer. So I don't have to worry about new razor bumps or shaving irritation.
Gillette Skin Guard, huh? Your mama's gonna love this one.
The best a man can get keeps getting better with Gillette Skin Guard. Buy now at a retailer near you.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DiPrima right now.
Right now, back to Dominique DiPrima and Sherri Bell. And, man, so many things to unpack that I wanted to run by you. But are you following what's going on with Diddy?
Oh, boy. It's all over. It's everywhere. It's and it's happening so fast. Like, everything is just rolling out and it's getting worse and worse. And, it's really a scary thing because, I mean, what's happening to him, a lot of other people can have these skeletons roll out their closet. But, yeah, he was just living his best life. And now all of a sudden, in a drop of a dime, like all of that is gone.
I mean, I heard Suge Knight's advice to him yesterday, and it was a lot. But one of the things Suge said that stood out. I mean, he was giving him prison advice, but one of the things that stood out is that he said they're coming for you because you have too much dirt on people, and implying that Diddy might not even make it to prison. And if you think about, I mean, I'd never been to a bad boy party, just like I never been to Freaknik or whatever. But if you think about the number of different industry people that, have probably been to parties and done such and such and such,
So like a Jeffrey Epstein type of situation where you have powerful people that have been interacting with him, and they might have dirt on him, and then he ends up mysteriously dead under suspicious circumstances.
Yeah, suicided, or whatever. And I have heard that from others, but Suge really made it plain, just saying you have too much info on people. So
yeah, I mean, I heard that conspiracy theory type of thing, and I also heard the one that he sued that big alcohol company for racial discrimination.
Ciroc,
and so they decided to go after him for that as well. I mean, it could be all those things.
Well, I don't think Suge was saying that's why they went after him, but maybe I think what he was saying is because you've now been exposed and you are vulnerable to going to jail and ratting people out, and now you're in danger.
Right, because of that.
Yeah,
now.
But I have heard that about Ciroc. I haven't seen any evidence, but the timing is what people are suspicious of, I guess. He goes after Ciroc, and he took on some other people. He did some posts about Remember, he refused to take off the Batman
Oh,
costume.
right.
And
Yeah.
then he did that video, which has been, called anti-Semitic. And, so there's a lot of conversation about who he might have angered. But over the years, it's got to be a lot of people.
Wow. And yeah, speaking of people he's connected to, I read something that they're actually going to be subpoenaing people who have business dealings with him, who's partnered with him, to be dragged into these legal probe. So now you have corporations that he's conducted business with being a part of these criminal charges.
So the parent company is Diageo, which I guess it's over Ciroc and this other alcohol that he had. So, we've got Kwamel on the phone calling us from Gardena. Happy Friday, Kwamel.
I got to find one of these daggone days to call y'all because, heads be so GD busy and Friday be so packed that, it's just never ideal anymore. So, I'll be missing y'all.
Well, I'm glad you got in.
I got to talk about mess on the chat. You saw I was getting inside some heads yesterday, but I digress. Oh, by the way, Sherri, I need you to be guest hosting on here or getting your own show real soon though, because just on principle, we need that Sherri Bell business on this station.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I agree, Kwamel, but Sherri be kind of busy. I agree.
I'm saying though.
Yeah, you see how we do. People come on this show and then they, whether it's Robin Ayers or Dr. Sunshine or Angela Reddick Wright, then they pop up with the show. But with Sherri, well, she got a lot of jobs.
I guess we all booked and busy out here. You know what I mean? Busy. Oh, by the way. Yes. Where all my real DEIs in the house? Where all my real DEIs?
Oh Lord.
Yes.
Oh, no.
It was the jam. On Twitter. Yeah, it was hilarious. My guy Ike Moses, my brother Justin, wherever he is. Shout out to that cat. Knowing him from the OK Player days, and yeah, that just took over like that N Navy thing. Black Twitter is far superior to ever try to call it some daggum X Black Twitter forever, because that just brought me so much joy just watching everybody just flip that whole DEI thing. I mean, and then that CRT thing and that woke thing. It was the most beautiful display ever. Just watching what we do when they try to call themselves getting under our damn skin, what like Tim Hardaway would say, with this pearl clutching foolishness, and it's something that you always see the right try to flip everything. I feel like they kind of unfortunately did flip woke and make it a distasteful thing. But yeah, I almost just kind of avoid the W word. But yeah, that DEI one was just a hip hop classic once I heard it. Oh, speaking of hip hop, Dominique, I appreciate that Julio G interview you did the other day, because that just really set the tone for a lot of things. I had no idea that Funky Fresh Eazy-E really set off. I had no idea that he had those visions about the Latino market and, suggested things like the Noventa Los Puto Tres thing. I was like, wow, okay, we've been really kind of robbing Eazy of the credit. I saw another video that talked about why Bone Thugs were on both Tupac and Biggie songs. And it was because Eazy told them, like, look, their beef ain't yours. Do your thing, rock with both of them, be cool. And I really feel like, dang, we were cheated of some beautiful things that Eazy had in store for us.
Yeah.
And a lot of things that I thought about that brother back then, anyway. I mean, because I've been softened on him, but we really were wrong about Eazy. We really were wrong. And he was not just no rap dude. He was not just no street dude. He was a hip hop dude, and the way was very much hip hop. They were very much b-boys. So,
Eazy was a businessman. I mean, that's what because I remember, you know how I am, Kwamel. I got on him about that whole thing about going to the White House and having dinner with Bush or whatever.
With the president.
Yeah, and he really did that. I think he gave him like $5,000 donation, and I was like, WTF? He said, Dominique, for $5,000, I got $20 million worth of free publicity. And I really couldn't argue with that. I was like,
Dominique,
yeah,
I thought your policy was not. I thought your policy was don't do accents and don't be doing mocking voices.
That's
either.
not an accent. That's how easy you would talk to me. Dominique. We used to get into these deep combos. I mean, look, this guy was brilliant is my point. Like when he said that, I really had to think about it. And yeah, you're right. The earned media on that, it was CNN. It was all over the world at a time when hip hop wasn't reported on like that. Everybody was mad, but everybody was talking about NWA.
We need that Easy-E biopic, right?
Well, I guess. Yeah.
Why not? Yeah, right.
I mean, they did the NWA one. Why not do a?
Yeah. Gone too soon.
That's another show because I could go on about that movie, but I'll set this one up and I'll take your comments off the air. And I like Sherri's take as well. I like the whole MSNBC Ronna McDaniel, Ronna Romney thing because I really thought it was a beautiful coup that every single host made it a point to let them know how raggedy it was to hire that woman and pay her when, as Duke was saying, was pointing out, they're not even paying Ellie Mistal as hilarious as Ellie Mistal is and as brilliant as he is. And
yes, he
otherwise,
is.
also, I want to thank y'all again over here at 1580 for this proper political education y'all are giving us. Some may already have it, so it's reinforcing or giving review, but giving it to the people who don't normally have it and could be swayed by all this just Trumpian garbage. But yeah, let's talk about that Ronna McDaniel thing. I'd like to get y'all takes. I'll take that off there. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Kwamel. We got a minute and a half to news, traffic, and sports. You want to talk about Ronna McDaniel, the chair of the Republican and National Committee? Of course, she stepped down, so he who shall not be named could get his daughter-in-law at the helm, Laura Trump. But now MSNBC offers her a job. Then they have a revolt by the entire on-air staff pretty much. And NBC reverses their position and decides to uninvite her to their airwaves. Now she's lawyered up, probably going to sue them. But I think, it's rare to see a revolt like that in the mainstream media.
I guess they're not trying to hear no lies and propaganda and talking points and misinformation. I mean, maybe they take their craft of journalism seriously and don't want to spread that type of narrative during an election year. I don't know.
Yeah, let's hope. I mean, because they do plenty of talking points, and in general. But I think this was, like you said, a bridge too far because she's been perpetuating the big lie, saying that Biden didn't win the election and repeating all the Trump agenda. So maybe that was just a little more than usual. Like now we know where the line is. You have to be, a complete party propagandist and repeatedly lie on national TV, maybe.
Right. Yeah. Maybe they ain't trying to get sued like the other company did when they said that the election, when they lied, like Tucker Carlson, that would lead to his termination. They, the Republican Party, in their talking heads, just perpetuated this conspiracy theory, and they got sued. But I don't know if they paid it. But I mean, that kind of liability.
Yeah, well, hope so. News, traffic, sports, and then more on KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. An Orlando, Florida official is facing criminal charges. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement yesterday announced the arrest of District 5 City Commissioner Regina Hill. The 58-year-old African-American Democrat is facing 7 felony counts and could get a life sentence. The charges include exploitation of the elderly, fraudulent use of personal identification, and mortgage fraud. She allegedly took advantage of a 96-year-old constituent living in deplorable conditions. The Powerball jackpot just keeps surging and is now closing in on the $1 billion mark. The top prize up for grabs in tomorrow night's drawing is $935 million. The cost to buy a ticket, just $2, and the drawing will be streamed live on Powerball.com. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate, not one based on anyone else. So if you drive safely, you could save money. Good to know. Visit allstate.com or call for a quote today.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Lakers and Clippers are back in action today on the road. The Lakers are at Indiana. The Clippers are in Orlando. Both games tip off at 4 p.m. The Lakers, on a 5-game winning streak, are still in 9th place in the Western Conference. They're 2.5 games behind Dallas to get into the 6th spot to avoid the play-in round. The Lakers have 9 games left to get it done. The Dodgers beat St. Louis in their home opener. The Dodgers got home runs from Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman. Shohei Ohtani was 2 for 3 as the DH. The Dodgers and St. Louis play again tonight at Dodger Stadium. First pitch at 7:10. Clemson and Alabama won their semifinal games last night at Crypto.com in the West Regional of the NCAA Men's Basketball Tournament. They'll meet up on Saturday for a trip to the Final Four next weekend in Phoenix. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Tips to help improve your credit score in 2024. Establishing credit is an important key to achieving financial health, but building a credit history from scratch can feel challenging since you need credit to build credit. First, what does it mean to build credit? All consumers have a score between 300 and 850. You want your score to be as high as possible as lenders look at your credit score to make loan and credit decisions. A good credit score shows you have a track record of borrowing money responsibly. Remember, it's never too late to build or rebuild your credit. This segment is sponsored by J.P. Morgan Chase & Company.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that caring for the community means caring about the climate. You might have heard that we announced a pretty bold 12-month, $2 million campaign to do 4 things. Increase climate literacy, turn up the volume on communities of color in the climate conversation, connect everyday people with the resources they need to survive and thrive, and highlight frontline climate justice crusaders of color throughout this year. KBLA Talk 1580 will be bringing you insightful interviews on all of our shows to help raise your climate IQ. Each quarter this year, we will also be hosting free climate events in various communities throughout the city with food, fun, and forward-thinking conversations. Thanks to partners like LADWP, Metro, Caltrans, the Sierra Club, the California Community Foundation, the California Endowment, AQMD, MWD, and more. You'll also be hearing more about a couple of national town halls broadcasting live from Los Angeles, to which you will be invited. And we'll be rolling out a robust social media campaign on all our platforms, as well as an outdoor media campaign, all designed to educate, enlighten, and empower you in our fight for climate justice.
We want cleaner air.
Caring about the community means caring about the climate. At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that we really can change the world if we care enough. If we care enough. If we care enough. If we care enough.
This Easter, March 31st at 11:07 a.m., ECM will be at the Redondo Beach Performing Arts Center. We are inviting everyone to meet us there as we will be presenting the Black Resurrection Experience. What good is Jesus' resurrection if we are still living in cultural graves? ECM will present a stage play production that will address Black dignity, Black worth, Black unity, Black ownership, Black votes, police brutality, generational wealth, mental health, Black power through Jesus' power, and most of all, your purpose in life through the murder of Jesus Christ. And we will tell this entire story with singing, dancing, acting, rapping, with a little bit of preaching from yours truly, Pastor Shep. The Black Resurrection Experience. Easter morning at the Redondo Beach Performing Arts Center. It's totally free, so come get your freedom.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
What's up?
I'm tired of feeling so bloated.
That used to be me. Then I got this.
Align bloating relief plus food digestion. A probiotic, right?
Yeah, it works naturally with your gut to help soothe occasional bloating and gas. Plus, it has vitamin B12 to aid digestion by helping convert food to cellular energy. 2 benefits, 1 capsule.
Align Bloating Relief plus Food Digestion from the #1 doctor-recommended probiotic brand. Get $5 off at alignprobiotics.com.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed? Because no two people sleep the same. Only the Sleep Number smart bed lets you each choose your individual firmness and comfort, your Sleep Number setting. The Climate 360 smart bed is so smart it actively cools or warms up to 13 degrees on either side for your ideal sleep temperature. And now, during the final days of our President's Day sale, save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed, plus 10% off all bases. Ends Monday. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
And I appreciate you, man. There's so much going on. I just saw that actor Louis Gossett Jr. had made his transition at 87, and you may remember him from Officer and a Gentleman. He did a lot of things. He was the first African-American man to win a supporting actor Oscar, an Emmy winner for Roots. And he was also a friend of my mom's.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was a friend of my mom's. I guess, when she was a poet and he was an actor and they were starving in New York, my mom was famous for her big pots of beans and soup and stuff, and just like basically having a soup kitchen out of her apartment. Wow. I remember the first time I interviewed Louis Gossett Jr., he said, "Your mom fed me soup." I was like, what? Like, they were really, they were really friends, but what a great actor, I think,
Yeah, he's one of those, like, people that come from that generation of just classy, folks. And, I mean, what more can you ask for, right? To live a long life, not too much drama, accolades. He had a really good run.
I didn't know he went to NYU on a basketball scholarship.
Wow.
He just reminder that life is long. You're going to do a lot of things, but you're right. It's a life well lived, and a great work, and a kind person who, in this business, you talk to a lot of so-called celebrities, and not all of them are real grounded. Not all of them. There are many that are, but not all of them are real grounded. Also an actor's actor, he went to the actor's studio. He was on Broadway. He did films. He did TV. Yeah. So rest in peace. Rest in peace, Louis Gossett Jr. Thank you for all you brought into the world, and for your great work. Yeah.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. 87, man.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad, right? I'm not mad at it, but it's also like, okay, it always feels like a lot of people are leaving the building, but I guess that's just the cycle of life.
It is.
It's just the cycle of life. So the I hate this. The LA City Ethics Commission is accusing Councilmember Curren Price of violations of their code, saying that he voted on things he shouldn't have voted on, which his wife had a financial interest in. And they're saying, according to the LA Times, 21 violations. Now, I'm not understanding. This is the same stuff that DA George Gascon brought the case against Councilmember Price for, which I really don't get it. To me, if there's impropriety, doesn't rise to the level of a criminal case.
Yeah.
And they're accusing him of conflict of interest, but the DA's office accuses him of embezzlement for putting his wife on his benefits.
Yeah, that's reaching.
Well, it's really a reach. And I just wonder about why they've decided to do this now.
Yeah, and it's like you talk about restorative justice. Like, like if somebody did something like that, why not, why go to a criminal charge, right? Why not try to have them repay it or, teach a class on how to not do it? Like, why you want to just jump to...
Or just pay it back, right?
Yeah,
so,
just pay it back.
So he was getting benefits for his wife, even though they said he was still technically married to somebody else. But everybody, I mean, she's his common law wife.
Right.
Everybody knows that that's his wife. It's not like he had some fake person. And then voting on things, but as several city council members have explained to me, often these are general votes where they're just voting on a slate of things that aren't controversial. And he may or may not have been aware that bundled in that was a project that his wife was working on.
Right. I mean, I think that, of course, is, certain people are scrutinized to a higher level than others. And, I don't know how this came about, who, raised the quote unquote red flag about it. But, when you think about criminal charges, I mean, it's a delicate situation. Don't know all the nuances about everything, but it does appear that, these charges brought forth are extreme a little bit to for the magnitude of what actually happened and who benefited. It's not like a Jose Weezer type of situation where you get in boatloads of cash and going to Vegas and taking payola, right?
That's why I say all city council, all city hall scandals are not created equal. Some of them seem to be more manufactured, or because a lot of people said last year the ethics committee should have been handling this in the first place.
Yeah.
And so for them to chime in now after criminal charges have already been filed, I don't know. It just seems, some folks have said that it feels like there is a target on black electeds.
Oh, yeah.
But at the same time, I'm not trying to give people a pass.
Right.
But in Curren Price's case, it really does feel like a stretch. And I wonder why they are, why they're doing this now. Of course, you heard former Deputy Mayor Raymond Chan was convicted on pay-to-play corruption.
Oh.
And he was an aide to Weezer at one point. He also was over the building, department and was taking bribes from developers.
Right.
So, he won't be sentenced until June. But this is pretty serious. This was a deputy mayor appointed by Mayor Eric Garcetti, and this is a federal jury. They only deliberated for a couple hours. They found him guilty on all 12 charges. But again, totally different. We're talking about brown bags full of cash, trips to Vegas, prostitutes. This particular guy, Raymond Chan, apparently arranged for a developer to pay $600,000 to help cover up a sexual harassment case for Weezer.
You know what? This is now that's egregious, right? Like those type of offenses are more egregious. And, it reminds me sometimes when Obama was doing such a good job as a president, the only thing they can criticize was him wearing a tan jacket. It's like, you reach for things when people are not really doing much, that are, disruptive or bad. You reach, and like you said, this is an ethics issue. It's a violation of a policy within their job, right? They probably had to sign on some documents.
Right. They could have just, hey, you got to pay back those insurance benefits.
Right. Here's
Even
your civil penalty.
Or maybe not, because she's basically a domestic partner, even if they're not legally married, right?
Right. Yeah, I mean, it seems definitely like a civil type of issue. They have to prove that he benefited or he proposed or propagated this whole vote, or this client he did some intentional putting them before, or if they worked their way up and made their own business dealings and worked their way up enough to get to the city on their own without his help. I don't know how you can hold him accountable for them benefiting from whatever contract they received or whatever.
Well, they're doing it. And you know, I don't see, you can't put that genie back in the bottle. It was one of the things I was actually quite disappointed with DA George Gascon for pursuing that. I voted for him anyway, but it doesn't make sense to me. I felt like he was doing it maybe for some voters that criticize him for not being, I'm tough on crime, but I don't know.
I mean, this whole justice system is very hypocritical. I mean, I just think back about to the times where the police was involved in like racketeering to like businesses on Central Avenue back in the day. Like nobody never got held accountable for all the corrupt things they did, to set us back as, black, Angelinos. And now you want to like pick and choose these little small things to like magnify and, create these criminal charges against. It does feel like a target. And I hope anybody that's listening who's pursuing office or a new office member to just, be really careful, check with the ethics committee if you're unsure, because when you're black or a person of color in a position of power, you better believe that, you got to be twice as squeaky clean as the rest of them.
Sherri Bell and Dominique DiPrima, you're invited in, 800-920-1580. We are unapologetically progressive, KBLA Talk 1580.
Say the quiet part out loud. KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey, what are you doing up on the step stool?
About to clean these light fixtures. The whole family's coming over, and if there's even a speck of dust in the house, my abuela will find it.
Here, I got a Swiffer duster to help with that.
A Swiffer what?
A Swiffer duster. It has this cool extendable handle that reaches 6 feet to get high and low, with fluffy dusters that easily trap and lock dust.
So, no more step stool?
No more step stool.
Easily trap and lock dust from hard-to-reach places with the Swiffer duster. Love it or your money back.
It's a celebration of a living legend.
It's the farewell tour.
It's Maze featuring Frankie Bello.
Thank you for the love to the
Also featuring the soul icon, Anthony Hamilton. Plus, After 7. It's a Mother's Day celebration, May 12th in the Kia Forum.
In commemoration, come in your all white.
Get tickets at Ticketmaster. Presented by the Black Promoters Collective.
Have you fallen behind on your water and power bill? LADWP has made paying your past due bills even easier. Sign up anytime online for Level Pay to get set monthly bills that include past due amounts. Or check out the special extended payment arrangements of up to 48 months to help pay down your bill. Visit ladwp.com/cares and sign up today. That's ladwp.com/cares.
Girl, I have a secret. When I get stressed out, I get sweaty. That's why I use Secret Clinical Antiperspirant. It's like my own secret weapon. For 72 hours, I get Secret's strongest protection against sweat caused by stress, heat, and activity, because you know how crazy life can get. Plus, it's made with advanced odor fighters that don't just cover up smelliness. They help prevent it from happening in the first place. Believe me, if I weren't wearing Secret, I'd be a hot, smelly mess. Thankfully, Secret works.
Sometimes we lose, sometimes we win. Sometimes we try to fit it all in. Sometimes we don't know what's in store. Sometimes we find what we're looking for. Sometimes we're rolling easy and free. Sometimes 1 and 1 makes 3. So much to love along this ride. That's why Nationwide is on your side.
Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company and Affiliates, Columbus, Ohio.
Broadcasting live from Leimert Park, USA. Welcome back to your home for unapologetically progressive radio. KBLA Talk 1580.
And Dominique DiPrima, Sherri Bell doing the Friedman Friday warm-up round here. We'll be talking with attorney Nana Gyamfi, who is actually part of the Coalition of Californians working with the task force. And she is also a Pan-Africanist, so it should be a lively discussion. Sherri Bell, you got a thing going on. What you got going on?
Oh, yes. So I'm a member of the Los Angeles Black Workers Center, and since COVID, we haven't really had like a lot of in-person meetings. So we're having a full body membership meeting this Saturday, March 30th, from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Right on 53rd and Crenshaw, so 5350 Crenshaw Boulevard, right by that famous liquor store on 54th and Crenshaw. You can't miss it. That's this Saturday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Come get you a sandwich and, hear about what we've been doing in the community.
Okay. And that's Easter weekend. Interesting that they chose Easter weekend.
Easter weekend and the rain. Hopefully it ain't raining between 11 and 1 and y'all come out, and see what we up to. And I also want to just remind folks who are listening right now, if you could just take a hot second and subscribe to the KBLA channel on YouTube, because that way you'll always get the notifications whenever, content is on, and it helps the channel grow.
Yeah, and we thank you for that, Sherri Bell. We need the channel to grow. Yes, for sure. And of course, you can find Sherri Bell on Instagram. You can find me. You can find KBLA. But Sherri, you're at Sherri De La Ghetto.
That's right.
With underscores.
Right.
And I'm at DiPrima Radio, DiPrima. And the station, of course, is KBLA 1580. Miles is at Miles Low Music. Just hit, Follow me now. Oh, what? She dropped off. You know who you are, Queen. Call me back. 800-920-1580. 800-920-1580 is the number, no matter where you are at. So what you got going on this week? Oh, you're going to be at the Black Workers.
Yeah. And you were talking about reparations, and I'm like, I've been hearing a lot about reparations. I've been listening in on a guest, and it's like the study was done, and like I'm kind of like still wondering when is something gonna happen, like get implemented, because this governor is gonna be out of office soon. And I heard about a Bradford bill. Some people are like happy with it, some people are not.
There's two by Senator Bradford.
Okay.
Yeah, those. Yeah. Those are probably the most powerful to me. I mean, I think, yes, the bill for an apology, I think that's good. But a lot of people say it's not reparations.
To have to legislate an apology, I wouldn't even take that seriously.
Yeah.
You could keep that. I don't even want it. If you got to legislate me to get an apology from you without you doing it on your own and realizing your actions were deplorable and against everything that this country's supposed to stand for and just morally immoral, I don't want your apology.
I feel you. I just feel like it could be helpful in making, court cases stick or whatever, because now you're admitting that you are at fault.
Oh, yeah. See, that's the thing.
On paper, in writing.
Yeah, admitting it was. The thing about that is that at that time it was legal. But then a lot of illegal things happened after it was no longer legal.
But just because something is legal doesn't mean it doesn't deserve repair. And
Right.
once you apologize for it, you're admitting it was wrong. I mean, because, a lot of things were legal. The internment of the Japanese Americans in those concentration camps was legal. And they got reparations because even though it was legal, it was wrong.
Right. No, yeah, I mean, because they didn't really consider us to be human beings, unfortunately. But yeah, I think that you raise a good point. Maybe that's why they have been avoiding the apology all this time, for that reason, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's scattered apologies that have been made here and there, but that's one legislation. There's other things. A lot of people, myself included, were not impressed by a lot of those 14 bills that the Assembly put forward. They say it's just the beginning and they're going to do more. You've got the Bradford bill, which is meant to establish a Freedmen's Bureau for the state of California, which would create a mechanism, a hub for all this stuff that has to happen, whether it's distribution of money or implementation of programs. And then the other bill that he has would take 6% of any new funds going into a rainy day fund for the state and set it aside to cover the costs of reparations-related programs.
Wow.
So, to me, those are solid.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yes. And that sounds good. And like, far as the apology is concerned, that would be the only reason why I would be okay with it. If it was going to help somebody court case or move forward. But I do feel like I believe what I said before. It's like why hasn't there been any kind of reckoning or declaration or anything, beforehand. And you look back at old footage, right, of postcards when, people were getting lynched and everybody watching, and, and you look at people getting hosed, and you look at all these deplorable things that you can actually see with your eyes, and you actually see the numbers of Black folks all around every city in the state, in the nation, and you see how, our numbers are lower in all the wrong places, but yet you still have people saying we don't need DEI.
Well, yeah, or labeling somebody a DEI mayor, like the mayor in Baltimore is a DEI mayor. What is a DEI mayor? That's just like woke. It's a new code for N-word.
We can't let them co-opt it, because I think that what it is a defense mechanism, because basically why there is a need for DEI is because of racism and discrimination.
Right. It's not because we're deficient or we're cursed. It's because y'all owe us. And to be honest, I think that's why people are angry, and that's why I was upset or am upset, because like I said in my editorial, if it doesn't include cash, it ain't reparations. It doesn't mean cash is all there is to it.
Right.
But if it's not part of the plan, that's a problem.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, because cash is important. But one of the biggest things to getting wealth is like home ownership, and that's one of the things that continues to be attacked generation to generation. I mean, you look at how people got to hide their pictures, in the house when appraisers come over, because your wealth is going to be appraised at a lower rate. Therefore, you're not going to be able to pass along the same wealth as other people because of the color of your skin, redlining, deed covenants, the appraisal. So like that's one way that they're attacking wealth. I mean, banks are still doing the same thing. So I don't know. I it just baffles me how like people continue to make these remarks as if we're like this other stuff doesn't exist.
I really think that's why we have to keep talking about it.
Right.
Because if you look at what happened in 2020, a lot of people shifted their perspective because of the protests and the conversations that were going on. And that's why, they basically outlawed the word woke, right? Or turned it into a euphemism.
Right?
Right. Now it means N-word, just like DEI is just another word for N-word now.
Yeah. No.
We don't want these DEIs up in here with their watermelon and their,
Right. I mean, it's a very effective argument that has won and helped to repeal laws, like even Clarence Thomas, right? He went to a very prestigious university and was a benefactor of affirmative action, and then turned around and tried to tear it down because he wants to be known or accepted based off of his merit into these universities. And it's like, it doesn't make any sense.
It's really like, I got mine, so F y'all.
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
Right.
I got mine. And now I'm going to pretend. I mean, he got more than affirmative action. He got a whole like luxury RV and, all kinds of, multi-$1,000 vacation, $500,000 for a vacation.
Right.
So clearly it's not about any kind of moral position. It's just, I got mine.
Yeah, and that's why with these DEI people who's trying to tear down the need for diversity, equity, and inclusion, that's why we have to keep having these conversations and fighting back with hard data, numbers, because what they're saying doesn't match up to what we're seeing numerically, right?
Right.
So we have to continue to come with facts, because that's not facts. What they're saying is a fallacy. It's a logical argument.
Facts and workarounds. Sherri Bell, thank you so much. I hope everyone comes out, Saturday to the LA Workers Center.
Thank you, Dominique.
Man almighty, my voice. Okay. We'll see you Saturday.
Yeah.
And learn how to get paid. It's KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. An Orlando, Florida official is facing criminal charges. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement yesterday announced the arrest of District 5 City Commissioner Regina Hill. The 58-year-old African-American Democrat is facing 7 felony counts and could get a life sentence. The charges include exploitation of the elderly, fraudulent use of personal identification, and mortgage fraud. She allegedly took advantage of a 96-year-old constituent living in deplorable conditions. The Powerball jackpot just keeps surging and is now closing in on the $1 billion mark. The top prize up for grabs in tomorrow night's drawing is $935 million. The cost